Good morning. Hi. It's Tuesday, so if you had a day off yesterday because of the holiday, welcome back to the world. And I am, obviously, I was not paying attention when that thing jumped out. But anyway, I'm happy you're here. Hopefully more people show up because, I always want to have this be a big party. So hopefully you'll enjoy the show. I hope you all, I have so many things to go through today that's about, America and things that are happening, the economy, COVID updates, and just all kinds of odds and ends that I just needed to get caught up on because yesterday was kind of a show about America, and so I didn't get a whole lot of headlines in. Well, there's a whole bunch of headlines I need to get caught up on. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm still celebrating Freedom Week because why should 4th of July just be one day? It should be the whole damn week. That's why I got the fireworks still going here. And so get ready for it. We'll be there in about 1 minute. Let me play the intro. Johnny, play the intro, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Tuesday, the 6th of July, 2021. It's my mom's birthday, so I got to make sure I call my mom and wish her happy birthday. I hope you all are having a good morning. I actually had a very busy morning after getting home from work. I actually shoveled some rocks. Because, that little landscaping project in the back isn't going to finish itself. But Lady Boomer's out there now, even though it's raining. It's raining in the Twin Cities here today. But anyway, how are you all doing? I hope you're having a lovely day. If you are here because you like catching up on the news, while you're in the right place to be, while you're in the chat or watching the show, please try to make sure you hit the like button sometime during the show. Also, it would be really cool if you shared this stream out on your social media. You can click that little share arrow down there and just a couple clicks and it'll put it out to your friends and families and like-minded people that you hang out with on the internets, Twitter, Gab, Parler, Cloud Hub, whatever you're on. I'm on all of them as Dawg Knight, as you can see right up there. And also, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, you can do that through SuperChats or at PDawgKnight.live. The Streamlabs link is there. Let's just put it this way. If you use this link, you don't give 30% of your money to Susan. But that's up to you. I am more than happy with the generosity of the friends who come in and out of the show every day. Speaking of which, let's say good morning to the people who are already here because, the early bird catches the bell, as you well know. And first in the chat today was Somnambule Nation, who does get the bell. Thank you for being here, bright and bushy-tailed. Not that I have any idea what your tail looks like, but, it's a good start. Good morning also to Advocates Diablo, the Devil's Advocate, Jonathan Peterson. Hi, y'all. Hi, y'all, too, Jonathan. Good morning, Don Julio, Gold City Biker and Trash Man. Good morning, Haig and Cindy down there in Florida. Well, I don't know if you're in Florida or in Alabama still. They were out on the bus doing their thing. Good morning also to my friend from down under, Richo. Nice to see you. Hope you're well and keeping out of trouble. I am keeping out of trouble. I've been too damn busy to get into any trouble. Also, good morning, TOS. Nice to see you. Shroom, nice to see you. Also, good morning to, let's see, DI Freighter Watcher, Jamie Melquist, what's happening? Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope and K-Shull, Infamous One, and there's a bunch of people lurking, working, driving and thriving. Keep your eyes on the road or on that heavy machinery you are operating while you're working, because I don't want anyone to get hurt or have any anything like that. So, oh no, not my mom. Mama P-Dawg, Mama Dog. Yeah, it's Mama Dog's birthday, and so I'm gonna make sure I talk to her today. Anyway, back home. Oh, so you're back in Florida. Cool. Good to know there, Hig. So let's just get into it because there's a whole bunch of stuff that we got to get to. Now, it's funny. I caught this because Jedi Ghost Bear tags me in a few tweets here and there, and I saw this tweet from a Chinese state affiliated media called China Xinhua News. And it's annoying, but it's funny because the propaganda flows. Oh, I should probably, you know what I should probably do is make sure that shows up. There we go. So this was their propaganda for the day. Why is this showing up like that? Hang on a second. I want to make sure you can see it. There, let's move that down. They put this out. How a gun-happy nation spends its 4th of July weekend. Well, yeah. And then they showed death from firearms. There were a lot of shootings over the 4th of July weekend in some of the cities that crime has been rising. But the first reply, well, no, this is well, first of all, Hashmi, is taking their phone away. And then of course, you're going to get pictures of Tiananmen Square. And also the Uyghurs, it's funny. But then someone here named Shang Heqing, with gun violence happening almost every day, how much could the human rights be guaranteed? Can that also be called the so-called freedom? Yeah, well, these happy campers probably have something to say about that. So anyway... interesting here. Now, someone put up this graphic too, which is fascinating. Which dictator killed the most people? And each teardrop here, blood drop, is 1 million people. Well, you got Yakubu Cohen from Nigeria, 1966 to 1975, 1.1 million people. You got Mengistu Haile Mariam from Ethiopia, about 1.5 million. You got Kim Il-sung from North Korea, about 1.5 million. Pol Pot, 1.5 million. Let's see, Ismail Enver Pasha from Turkey, 2.5 million people. I'm assuming that's the Young Turks who killed the Armenians. You got Hideki Tojo in Japan, killed 5 million people. Leopold of Belgium, 15 million. Adolf Hitler, 17 million. Stalin, 23 million. Mao Zedong, 78 million people. Oh my goodness. Greetings from the so that's anyway, which dictators killed the most. So I don't know. The Chinese have very little to talk about, but they're going to propagandize if they can propagandize. One of the funniest tweets was the replies to that was ask the Uyghurs how they feel about American freedom, and because they'll probably never know it anyway. So just a fascinating little ditty to mention. Let's get into the news though, because I got a whole bunch more to do. By the way, I will what I'll do is I'll put that tweet in the link down below. By the way, everything we do today, it'll be in a link down below. A single link will have every story, a link to every story, everything that we talk about today, and even some of the stuff that we don't get to. Called a one-tab link. You'll be able to find anything we talk about. If you want to get more details, or if you want to write a story, if you want to write a blog, if you want to make a video, whatever you want to do, you will have that information at your fingertips. One click will give you a link to every single thing we cover. So let's start here. Just some breaking news and kind of sad news. The Columbus Blue Jackets, here, I'll just go full screen on this one. Their goalie died this weekend after a fireworks accident. Very sad. Columbus Blue Jackets goaltender Mattis Kivlenieks died of chest trauma from an errant fireworks mortar blast in what authorities described Monday as a tragic accident at a Michigan home on the 4th of July. Police in Novi, Michigan said the fireworks tilted slightly and started to fire towards people nearby Sunday night. The 24-year-old Kivlenieks was in a hot tub and tried to get clear with several other people. Police Lieutenant Jason Myers said authorities earlier said that the Latvian had died of an apparent head injury during a fall, but an autopsy clarified the cause of death. The fire department and the EMTs got to the home shortly after 10 p.m. and took Kavleniak to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Myers said Oakland County Medical Examiner's Office reported preliminary autopsy results Monday afternoon. So that's sad news in the hockey world. Rest in peace to Matisse Kavleniaks. Very sad news. Also in the news this morning, in the New York Post today, there's an article about how the lockdowns were a gift to, hang on a second, wrong click there. Lockdowns were a gift to big business designed to kill small businesses. Now designed or just that in practice. Lockdown proponents across media are smugly patting themselves on the back, proclaiming stay-at-home policies didn't harm the economy. Fascinating statement. Try telling that to the millions of small business owners who were irreparably damaged by prolonged and irrational restrictions, with many big corporations deemed essential. And stock markets propped up by the Federal Reserve, it's easy to see economic strength and miss the glaring weaknesses. While Walmart and Target continue to beat earnings expectations, small businesses struggle to survive. Nearly 2/3 of them are hitting only half or less their pre-lockdown monthly revenue levels, according to Alignable's June Road to Recovery report. Then there's the business that never recovered at all. The Biden administration recently projected that more than 400,000, yes, 400,000 small businesses have closed permanently, but that's likely a massive underestimate. Already, by June 2020, the Hamilton Project had counted 400,000 closures. Opportunity Insights data, meanwhile, show that by the end of May 2021, there were 38.9% fewer small businesses open nationwide than the outset of 2020. So it's just been brutal for small businesses, and obviously the big stores that were able to stay open because they were essential are thriving. But that's not good. How many of those 400,000 business had 2, 3, 4, 5 employees or more? A small business, you could have up to 100 employees maybe. I don't know what they use for the term small business. That's a lot of people losing jobs, losing livelihoods, having to, make ends meet in a different way. So not a good thing. Let's keep going. Trending in the Twitter today in a New York Times article, apparently there's this case that riveted Iran. Now I'm fascinated why would the New York Times bring this article up. In a case that has riveted Iran, a couple confessed to murdering and dismembering their son years after killing their daughter-in-law. And the guy said, "I have no guilty conscience." The 81-year-old husband said, "I killed people who were very morally corrupt." So the story is here. I have an archive link of the story. Iranian couple confessed to murdering and dismembering their son years after killing their daughter and husband. And apparently this happened 5 years ago. The older couple first came into the public eye on a winter night in Tehran when their film director's son invited them to the stage after a screening. They were frail and seemingly shy, and the younger man helped his mother up the stairs, then draped his arm around his father's shoulder. That was 5 years ago. Now their son is dead, and Ahmar Karodim, 81, and his wife, Iran Musavi, 74, are back on the public stage accused of his murder. And in a twist that shocked and riveted Iranians, the killing of their daughter and son-in-law over the course of a decade, the victims were drugged, suffocated, stabbed, and then dismembered, authorities say. The couple has confessed to the crime, but if Mr. Korodim, a retired Army colonel, and Miss Musavi, a homemaker, are remorseful, they have done a good job of hiding it. "I have no guilty conscience at all for any of the murders," Mr. Korodim said in a television interview from detention. "I killed people who were morally corrupt." Ms. Musavi appeared no more contrite. "We decided together, the two of us," she said in a television interview shortly after she was arrested. "My husband suggested it and I agreed. I have a great relationship with my husband. He doesn't beat or curse at me." Well, there's a bonus, I guess. Anyway, it doesn't really say I don't know if it gets into the why they felt they were justified in doing this, but wow, what a weird story. And it's interesting that the New York Times decides to highlight this today. I don't know why. Maybe just because it's such a sensational story. But one of the things that I noticed when I saw this trending was some of the reactions on Twitter, which were weird to me. So the first one right here, the very first one showing up under this tweet by the New York Times telling about this story is this, I want to be delicate, piece of excrement who says, sound like American conservative Christians. Really? Does it now? Let me just take a sip of my preparation coffee. Does it now? How? And a few people replied to him. Some people were like, "Oh, slay queen. Don't worry, friend. True Christians spread the love of Jesus. Don't let phony Christians distort that God is love, peace." So you're saying it does sound like some of them? That was my thought too. Maybe not as blatant, but definitely over time. Yes, I've been seeing lots of conservative Christians killing their relatives, or just killing anybody for that matter. Weird. But anyway, just one of those things. All right, let's keep going because I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Speaking of the economy, labor market's healthiest in red states, suffering in blue states, according to a report. A new report revealed that red states are observing far more robust job growth than blue states. Personal finance company WalletHub combined several data sources, including change in employment from May 2021 to May 2019, change in unemployment from May 2020 and January 2020, and non-seasonally adjusted continued claims from May 2019 to May 2021 to rank order the 50 states and Washington, D.C. for labor market improvement coming out of the vid. 9 of the top 10 performing states are led by Republican governors. Vermont, Republican Will Scott. Utah, Governor Spencer Cox. Nebraska, Governor Pete Ricketts. South Dakota, Governor Kristi Noem. Idaho, Governor Brad Little. New Hampshire, Governor Chris Sununu. Alabama, Kay Ivey. Oh, a Democrat in Kansas, but Kansas is a red state. Governor Laura Kelly. Montana, Governor Greg Gianforte. And Oklahoma, Governor Kevin Stitt. Now it's interesting. The states that they're showing here didn't necessarily have, didn't all have similar COVID policies. For example, Vermont did have shutdowns, but also Vermont is the most vaccinated state. I think they have 75% of the state is fully vaccinated, which is amazing. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it's certainly for herd immunity in Vermont, that helps. Plus Vermont and a lot of these states are more, I would say more rurally centered states. But still the bottom 10 states are led by Democrats: Illinois, New Jersey, Louisiana, District of Columbia, California, Connecticut, Nevada, New York, New Mexico, and Hawaii. Wow, Hawaii is the bottom, but I'm curious, in Hawaii, did they have as great as job loss as some of the other states? They isolated themselves a little more. I don't know. But as the United States recovers from COVID-19 and the lockdown-induced recession, unusually high unemployment is challenging employers across the United States, a trend driven by enhanced federal employment insurance. States that continue to participate in the handouts are observing particularly slow job growth. Now, that makes sense because a lot of these states have already gotten rid of that. They've gotten rid of the extra, what do you call it? The incentive, the extra unemployment, bonus that the federal government's been giving you. They've already ended those in those states. So I'm sure that people are like, well, I can't I can't make more by being on unemployment anymore. I better go get my job back. Interesting. One recent report that found that many states are offering benefits packages of equivalent of $100,000 a year in salary for a family of 4 with 2 unemployed parents, even without considering food stamps, school breakfast, lunch programs, rental assistance, and the fact that some employment benefits are not subject to federal income tax. Analysts stated that the maximum benefit package, including the $300 a week supplement from UI benefit, vastly outweighs America's median household income of $68,000. That's what? Wow. I didn't know some states were doing that. During Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's recent testimony before the House Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis, Representative Jim Jordan asked about policies affecting the Fed's capacity to pursue low inflation and maximum employment. Powell noted that federal unemployment insurance is slowing the labor market rebound, which will improve once the benefits expire. You would expect a really strong set of jobs numbers coming out beginning the next month. What's interesting about this is I've been watching this. Yes, I still have no idea why we have a Democratic governor in Kansas, P-Dawg. I don't know. But something. What's the matter with Kansas? Wasn't that a book or something? Another fascinating thing about this, and I've been kind of laughing about it every time I see someone from the Biden administration toot their horn on, well, we've created 3 million jobs. The most ever by any president. No. That's not job creation. That would just people going back to their old jobs and working instead of taking the freebies from the government. You know what I'm saying? That unemployment extra dollars you've been giving them. No, you're not creating. And apparently, if you look at this, all those those jobs are being created in the states that probably don't support your administration as much. Just fascinating. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk a little bit about. I was going to say crime, but I want to talk about San Francisco for a moment. This feature article in the. Washington Examiner. Apparently 40% of San Franciscans plan to leave due to quality of life, according to a poll. San Francisco is becoming a scary place to be. Almost half of San Francisco residents are planning on moving out of the city due to rising crime and a deteriorating quality of life, according to a recent poll. A poll of 500 San Franciscans commissioned by the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce showed that just over 40% of residents plan to move out of the city in the next few years. Additionally, 8 out of 10 people polled said crime has increased in the city, and almost 90% of those polled said they believe that the homeless crisis has gotten worse. Roughly 3/4 of residents in San Francisco said their quality of life has declined over the past year. It's fascinating because I was a victim of crime in San Francisco in 2019 when we rolled through as our West Coast tour happened. And the first day in San Francisco, our car got broken into and a bunch of stuff got stolen. In fact, I lost a lot of my recording equipment. And we went to the police station, and it was the third time that morning, the last hour, that someone had their car broken into. So what they have is, it's interesting because they have these roving, they have these roving like car breaker inner guys, right? There'll be a guy walking down the street, he'll just look in cars, and they target out of state plates, because we had a rental car that had Oklahoma plates, and the people some people stopped them from taking all the stuff out of the rental car. They only got a couple bags, but obviously a lot of my camera and computers and stuff were in those bags. But the people who stopped him said, yeah, we saw this guy just walking down in the street along the parallel parked cars, angle parked cars in the street, just looking at each car, and then probably called somebody on a phone and said, okay, this car, and they went down the street and smashed windows, smash and grab. Went down the street, smash and grab. Went farther down the street, smash and grab. And and then but when they did it to our car, Some people tried to stop them, and actually because we were walking back from lunch, we see all these people standing around our car. Like, what are these people standing around our car for? And like, oh, the back window smashed in, and oh, we lost some bags here. So it didn't ruin our trip completely, but welcome to San Francisco. Anyway, for the second year in a row, 70% of residents feel that the quality of life in San Francisco has declined, the chamber wrote. Considered in the light of the pandemic, these views are somewhat unsurprising. However, what stands out in the polling results is the strikingly high and consistent number of respondents who now view homeless and crime as the leading problems facing the city. Roughly 88% see homelessness as having worsened in recent years, and an overwhelming 80% see addressing this homelessness crisis as high priority. But yeah, the crime in a lot of cities is going crazy, and that's why San Francisco residents are planning to leave. I'm sure that's similar to other cities. I know that I live in a third ring suburb from Minneapolis, and I've noticed that we're suddenly like there's still a few little tracts of land that maybe some families own from farms and stuff, and I'm noticing that they're all turning into new residential areas. They're building houses in my suburb like crazy, and the prices of houses in my suburb are going nuts. I know our house is more than double what we paid for it back 10 years ago, but in the last few months, like I said, it's gone up. I'm watching some of the houses go up for sale, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's going for how much? That house is going for how much? You got to be kidding me. But anyway, good thing there. All right, let's keep going. This is more about economy stuff. Did I do this one? Yeah, I already did this one. Jeff Bezos, after this beautiful time in Amazon history where he's become even more and more rich and wealthy. I shouldn't say rich, because it's all stocks. It's not like he just has a big vault full of gold coins that he can go swimming in like Scrooge McDuck. But anyway, he's stepping down as the CEO of Amazon. I wonder if this has anything to do with his divorce, because his ex-wife is just spending money, just giving away money left and right, which good for her. I'm very proud of her for doing that. Just get rid of it. But anyway, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos officially handed over the position of CEO to successor Andy Jassy on Monday, transitioning the role of executive chair. So I wonder what the difference between CEO and executive chair are. Anyway, Bezos, whose stake in Amazon is worth roughly $180 billion with a B dollars, according to the Associated Press, announced in a blog post his plans to step down from the chief executive officer position in February. Bezos said his new position as executive chair would allow him to focus my energies and attention on new products and early initiatives. Okay, I don't know what that means. You're going from CEO to executive chair. I don't think it means anything. Anyway, he says, as much as I still tap dance into the office, I'm excited about this transition, Bezos wrote in his blog. Andy is well known inside the company and has been at Amazon almost as long as I have. He will be an outstanding leader and has my full confidence. Well, hip, hip, hooray for Jeff Bezos getting to maybe relax and do a little fishing. I don't know. Good morning, Midnight in Exile says, Bezos' wife is trying to buy herself friends, approval, and validation. Don't be proud of her. Okay, that is a point well taken. And I will go with that. All right, real quick. 31 in the room, 14 likes. Hit the like button if you're thinking about it, or even if you're not thinking about it. I just reminded you. Hit the damn like button and show some love. Good morning also to the one who. How you doing? Anyone else I'm missing in the chat? I got you, I think. Lord Stan. Oh, Amy's in the house. How you doing, Amy? Nice to see you. Duck Dog. I think I just saw Duck Dog. I saw, I feel like, what was that show where the lady or whatever would look into the TV and say, I see Stevie and I see Bobby and I see David and Mary and Elizabeth. I feel like that today. Was it Romper Room? Do any of you remember Romper Room? Is that the show that they used to do that at the end of the show where they look into the camera and just say all these kids' names or something like that? Good morning, Atheist Icon. Nice to see you. I think it was Romper Room. You have to be old and American to know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, all right, let's keep going here. Let me find, let's see, I talked about Jeff Bezos already. Oh, more news. This is more news from the weekend. Hello, Hypnagogic Monk. How you doing? I feel pressure to hit the button. Maybe I'm trans button. And good morning to nobody, not me. All right, let's more news over the weekend. And this is I would just say this is grim. 184 die over Independence Day weekend as violent crime continues. So maybe that remember, was that is this the thing? Maybe this is, you know, this is what they were talking about, the old Chinese propagandites. Anyway, gun violence over the 4th of July weekend resulted in 184 people killed and 464 injured across the United States. Now, again, these numbers are like, yeah, I mean, if you, in comparison to the total population of the United States, maybe not significant, but the fact that you got that many people shot over the weekend still is crazy. Good morning, some skinny Dagos in the house. How you doing? Nice to see you. The data shows injuries and homicides caused by gun violence during the 72-hour period from the evening of Friday, July 2nd to the evening of Monday, July 5th, according to Gun Violence Archive data. Related mass shootings are, in cases of gun violence, are skyrocketing in part because of gangs. Okay, I'll open that one and have it in the tab today. According to CNN, at least 150 people were killed by gun violence and more than 400 shootings across the country during the 4th of July weekend as major cities nationwide confront a surge in violent crime. I want to link to the Gun Violence Archive. There we go. That's the one I want you to have access to. Let's see here. So this is the Gun Violence Archive from the last 72 hours. Oh, they have all the sources and everything. Interesting. I bet there were probably more than that. Anyway, in Chicago, 13 people were killed and 64 people were injured. Data from the Gun Violence Archive shows the most shooting attempts occurred in Chicago, 51 of the 490 incidents. In Baltimore, 3 people died, 6 people were injured, while in New York, 7 people died and 40 people were injured due to gun violence. Well, violence. Gunfox, good morning. Good morning, Justin Anderson also. Cities across the country have been dealing with a spike in violent crimes. Many cities have seen a sharp uptick in homicides as well as an increase in the proportion of murders committed against black people. Yes, and that's it. Well, it's one of the leading causes of deaths of young black men. Declining morale among police officers and dramatic plummet in recruitment have left law enforcement agencies across the country understaffed and unable to keep up with the rise in violence. Gee, I wonder why there's a declining morale. I just can't figure it out. Why would there be declining morale in police departments across the nation? I don't know. Officers leaving the force most often cite anti-police sentiment and political turmoil as the reason for the resignations. There you go. And bail reform that began in 2019 has led to an uptick in crime. According to a National Fraternal Order of Police Vice President Joe Gamaldi, people are out on multi-felony bonds, shooting another person and getting out again. When there's no consequences with actions, you will see an uptick in crime, Gamaldi previously told the Daily Caller. I will give that an accuracy. That's accurate. That's why it gets the bell. So yeah, and then there's a follow-up article. This is from June 21st, just talking about mass shooting and cases of gun violence are skyrocketing in part because of gangs. You can check that one out. It'll be in the tabs. And then also, if you want to look at the Gun Violence Archive, which I've never seen before. In fact, I think I want to put that in my my little go-to tabs here. All right, moving on. The Chicago alderman is sounding the alarm. This is a Breitbart article about a bloody 4th of July weekend calling it a war zone. There, man, I saw some videos of things going on. It's really not good. Appearing on Monday, Fox and Friends, Chicago alderman Anthony Napolitano compared the Democrat-run city to a war zone following a violent 4th of July weekend. Let's see, is this how long is this clip? We'll see how long it is.
The city of Chicago.
Now we're not going to watch a 4-minute clip. Anyway, he says, the host said, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has made statements saying illegal guns are the problem in the city. What do you think? Napolitano's answer, I think that's pure nonsense. We have the strongest and strictest gun laws in the state, if not the country. If you go to our surrounding borders right now, we're supposedly getting all guns from where we're supposedly getting these guns from. They have nowhere near the amount of crime we do. We have a people problem here in Chicago. I've been saying this for a long time. We have zero accountability for people in Chicago. Nobody raising their kids anymore. Gangs are raising them. That's bellworthy. Anyway, we have a state's attorney who is by far the worst in the nation, and it's all trickle down effect, he concluded. Well, speaking of which, oh wait, this is not the one I want to look at. There's another one. Is this it? No, that's San Francisco. Well, we're going to get into this. We'll just stay in order here that I have these in. Speaking of, we talked about San Francisco a little earlier. Senior official at San Francisco's DA's office tries to dismiss the crime surge in the city. Do you think these people not acknowledging the problem may be exacerbating the problem? A senior official at the San Francisco District Attorney's Office drew parallels Sunday between the public's concern over a crime surge and white supremacy. Parallels between concerns over a crime surge and white supremacy. Parallels. Kate Chatfield, a senior director in District Attorney Chesa Boudin's office, wrote the tweet in an attempt to dismiss the ongoing spike in crimes in the city. Following a Twitter backlash, Chatfield made her Twitter account private. Oh, way to go. When people do stupid stuff, oh my goodness, what was that? You just gotta shut them down. And she shut herself down because she couldn't take it. I'm waiting for that day that I get that wave of Twitter hate, and I'm just going to laugh at people. I'm not going to shut down. I'm not going to private my account. I'm not going to shut it down. You know, wuss. Anyway, let's see. The tweet came in response to a resident complaining about crime in San Francisco. Quote, every single one of my friends right now is considering leaving San Francisco, the resident of San Francisco tweeted. My friends are scared for their children and their husbands are scared for their wives. And her, this is what she writes. Husbands are scared for their wives. Your reminder that the crime surge crowd shares the same ideology as birth of a nation. My God. I don't think that's the response anyone was looking for. But some here, Michelle Tandler says, first time being trolled by a San Francisco public official. Kate is a senior director of the San Francisco DA's office. Guess something I'm saying is hitting a nerve. I would say so. Oh my gosh. In 2020, San Francisco saw a 52% increase in burglary. Remember, in San Francisco, they won't prosecute any property crime that's under $1,000 or under $900 or something like that. That's why you saw that video a while back of the guy just taking a garbage bag into Walgreens, just clearing a shelf and walking out with it, because there's no fear of being, being prosecuted. I hate broken glass policies, but sometimes you got to make some incentive to not do that stuff, and they're not doing that. In San Francisco, saw a 52% increase in burglary, around 40% increase in arson, 37% uptick in vehicle thefts, which I am very familiar with, And a statistical comparison to 2019 from the San Francisco Police Department show. More on crime. Shopping in San Francisco is getting a lot more difficult thanks to far-left criminal justice policies. And this is, I complain about these DAs across the United States that are Soros puppets that, get big dollars from George Soros. And I'm not saying that I'm not being an anti-Semite, because I'm not. This is a fact that his Open Society Foundation has been funding DAs that don't want to prosecute people. And that's one of these, that's the San Francisco one. A recent viral video shows a man in San Francisco riding a bike through Walgreens, filling a garbage bag with merchandise and sailing out of the store with a security guard and store employee standing helplessly by. Another viral video shows a thief jumping over a counter and then leaving on a scooter while a TV crew does a story on shoplifting. Such scenes have become common in San Francisco. So common that retail chains are applying new rules to their operations in the city. This just happened. Okay, this is the guy who did the Walmart thing. Remember this guy? Just there with a garbage bag. I just mentioned it. And he just riding out on a bike. Security guard's not doing it. I'd have just taken the bag from him. I'd have just said, "Here, give me that bag." And he doesn't care because he's not going to get prosecuted. Store management is telling employees and security guards to be visible, but to not confront thieves, which explains the behavior seen in the video. Being visible is no longer a deterrent, as those leisurely looting the stores know they will not be arrested or prosecuted in the city by the Bay. This creates frustration among business owners and large retail chains trying to stop the bleeding. I know, Walgreens, I think they're closing all their San Francisco stores in the city. As far as I know, I'd heard something like that. Target, which has several stores in San Francisco, has established limited hours due to increased theft. Only one store adjacent to the downtown area is operating regular hours, and one is showing as closed on July 4th. A search at Target's website shows that the remaining 4 stores in the area are opening later and closing earlier than is typical. This change follows multiple closures of Walgreens and Gap stores and increasing targeting of CVS stores. I'm going to skip down here because, obviously the decision was related to increasing both theft and security incidents. But down here, according to the California Retailers Association, organized retail crime rings commit most thefts in San Francisco. These groups are recruiting juveniles and homeless individuals to steal items. The crew then resell stolen goods on the street, and crime ring pockets the profit. CRA President Rachel Michelin contends that these organized groups then move those willing to steal into more significant crimes such as human trafficking. Now, we saw this with that group that got busted, where they literally had a warehouse. What the hell what is this ad? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be distracted, but do you notice this ad? This ad right here. Why is this ad on my? I never looked for gold teeth. The #1 gold teeth jeweler. Our grills are made from the highest quality materials. That looks like a parody to me. Is it just me? Hello, Insecure. Oh my God, what the hell is on my screen? Oh, good Lord. Anyway, what the hell? Anyway, and here we go. Thanks to Proposition 47, which passed in 2014, patrons can take a 5-figure discount on merchandise up to it's 950. Is that all over California? Is it any Californians here? Is Prop 47 all over California? Patrons can take a 5-figure discount on merchandise up to $950 before facing felony charges. Oh, so they make it a misdemeanor up to $950, but they don't prosecute anything under $950. That's the thing. In 2018, because of rising rates of organized retail crime, the legislature amended the law to make cases with multiple suspects or multiple stores felonies. So at least they did that. Thefts under $950 are still considered misdemeanors. Law enforcement could arrest the thieves. However, the San Francisco District Attorney's Office will not prosecute them. All right, real quick. Thank you to our first sponsor of the day, Tall Person.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. And Tall Person says, Happy National Fried Chicken Day. Is it because I'm black? Oh my gosh, do not. Tall person, you got to be careful with that one today because someone's going to get upset with you. I wouldn't tweet that or anything. Thank you for being our first sponsor of the day. Anyway, okay. That's funny. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. I appreciate you. Thank you for the dues. All right. Anyway, the out of control situation in San Francisco shows the importance of local politics. District Attorney Chesa Boudin vowed not to prosecute what he refers to as lifestyle crime. So if you keep it under $950, it is a lifestyle crime. Good morning, Spud Gun. How you doing? Lifestyle crimes such as public camping. Public camping. Oh my Lord. Lifestyle crimes such as public camping, prostitution, and public defecation. Thieves who receive misdemeanor charges or shoplifting for less than $950 in merchandise are not held in jail and often do not show up at hearings. If the judge issues a bench warrant, police pick up the suspect, the process repeats. And again, but there's a recall effort is underway to remove the Soros-funded Boudin from office. Good. 80% of residents polled in the Chamber of Commerce survey said they felt unsafe in their city, but this being liberal San Francisco, while 72% said more cops should be concentrated in high crime areas, 82% want more social workers to hit the streets and counsel the criminals. Yeah, F that. Anyway, not to be outdone, Manhattan's new district attorney has some truly radical pro-crime ideas. Alvin Bragg appears to have won the Democratic primary election for Manhattan District Attorney, making him the presumptive new leader of one of the most powerful prosecutor's offices in the nation. Amid surging violence in Gotham, Manhattanites should be hoping that Bragg takes crime seriously. Although his biography is impressive, his proposals give reasons to worry. Raised in Harlem in the 80s, Bragg remembers the extreme violence that once plagued the city, with shootings and homicides a part of daily life. His father kept a gun in the house to protect the family. Bragg also saw the efforts that forged New York's Renaissance, with the strong work of the NYPD, supported by Mayor Rudy Giuliani and Michael Bloomberg. Bragg is no millennial, raised in a time of ever-decreasing crime and almost complete safety. He has been a federal and state prosecutor in New York. Unlike some progressive prosecutors, he worked with law enforcement and convicted people of crimes before taking office. He knows how to build houses, not just tear them down. Bragg also demonstrates a grasp of some of the finger points of fighting violence. In his position papers, he rightly notes that crime is extraordinarily concentrated in both places and people. If a prosecutor concentrates on those locations and offenders through precision policing, he can control violent crimes. It looks like Bragg might be taking it serious, right? Oh, but a closer look at Bragg's proposals tempers this optimism. That he wants the Manhattan DA's office to emulate the prosecutor's offices in, wait for it, Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and San Francisco. That should alarm the NYPD and law-abiding citizens. These are precisely the offices inviting violence and disorder in their cities, a veritable murderer's row of prosecutors encouraging murder. Moreover, Bragg has never served in the DA's office. Federal and state prosecutors get to pick and choose their cases, rejecting the weak ones and hold limited jurisdiction. A DA's office doesn't have the luxury of cherry-picking cases. It has to handle whatever comes through the door. Bragg has never worked for an office expected to handle every homicide, shooting, robbery, rape, burglary, and a child abuse case in the jurisdiction. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office Office handled about 50,000 new criminal cases in 2019. That same year, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York initiated only 858 new criminal indictments. Bragg will have to work on an entirely different scale for his new job. Digging further into his plans reveals some truly radical proposals. First, Bragg will immediately begin de-prosecuting certain offenders. Oh, lucky us. Whoops.
I see dead people.
Yeah. Those include resisting arrest, trespassing, fare evasion, marijuana possession, driving with a suspended license, and a traffic violation. Well, those are the small crimes and can sometimes turn into bigger crimes. Manhattan apparently must accept disorder on the sidewalks, streets, and subways, and police must prepare for resistance at every arrest. For those offenses that are prosecuted, Bragg announced plans to allow just about every offender to walk free the same day. Non-incarceration is the outcome for every case except those with charges of homicide or death of a victim, a Class B violent felony in which a deadly weapon causes serious physical injury, or felony sex offenses. His campaign materials read, will offenders who shoot at people and miss, armed robbers who display a gun but don't fire it, drug dealers and felons in possession of firearms all be released the same day they are arrested? Oh boy. Even more alarming, Bragg proposes virtually the same non-incarceration path for both bail and criminal convictions. Thus, these offenders will walk out of jail the same day they are arrested and apparently will never return. Gird your loins, New York. I'm just saying. You can read the rest later. Let's get into some COVID news. A review of COVID-19 deaths in 2 California counties dropped by a total of nearly 25%. 2 counties in California have reviewed every COVID-19 fatality, refining the approach to classify the cause of death. Santa Clara and Alameda counties delineated those patients who died due to the illness, progression of COVID-19, and those who tested positive at the time of death but were not symptomatic. Oh no, they're doing an audit of COVID deaths. The exercise reduced the number of COVID-19 deaths in both counties by nearly 25%.
Wow.
I wonder what would happen if you did that all across the United States of America. Because I wonder if some of these 25%, if they died in hospitals and the hospitals got a little extra federal money because they classified them as a COVID death. I wonder, early in the pandemic, questioning the stupid 19 death count was labeled a conspiracy theory by the corporate media. This position was always absurd based on the very loose criteria put out by the National Center for Health Statistics for counting a stupid 19 death. The ability to presume stupid 19 and place it as a cause of death during a period of perverse financial incentives for hospitals invited inflation of the fatality numbers. Now that is a conspiracy theory, isn't it? Oh. Medicare increased payments for COVID-19 patients. The private insurers covered the charges in full. These policies prevented the loss of co-pays and co-insurance unpaid by the patient and additional reimbursement from government programs. Any overpayments at this point are sunk costs. Public health authorities use stupid 19 hospitalization as a reason to postpone many elective procedures. Not all delays of these procedures were rational, but fear and uncertainty reigned. How will this impact the quality of life and health of many Americans remains to be seen. Well, I got a feeling that some people who took too long to get some of these screenings might be in trouble. Anyway, this has a bigger analysis of this, but 25%, the total drops by 25% overcount. Can you imagine how that would change? If you audit the entire United States, I wonder if it's similar. I bet it could be worse in some places. Anyway, speaking of the author of Stupid 19, Dr. Anthony Fauci has been named the 2021 Humanist of the Year. Meanwhile, he's essentially gone missing from mainstream media in the wake of release of his emails. Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of him, have we, lately? I'm just curious. The last report we had on White House Coronavirus Task Force guru, Dr. Anthony Fauci, was about his emails that revealed the extent of his politically motivated lies to the public. The emails showed the great lengths the legacy media and big tech went to shut down any discussion of the stupid 19 origins and mask use of efficacy. Despite these astonishing discoveries, the American Humanist Association announced that Fauci is his is the 2021 Humanist of the Year. Yes, tall person, FTG, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Fauci is a medical advisor to President Biden, has been a director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease at the U.S. National Institute of Health since 1984. Fauci played a pivotal role in advocating for evidence-based solutions in the global fight against stupid 19. Humanist of the Year is the highest honor awarded by the AHA and will be given to Fauci at the organization's 80th annual conference on July 24th and 25th. Previous recipients include Carl Sagan, Kurt Vonnegut, and Gloria Steinem. Hey, also, what's the guy that just got rid of his award? They're mad at him because he said something not so good about trans people or something. He's that guy's name? Someone tell me if you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, they say Dr. Fauci enables humanist values, including his steadfast commitment to science. He blinded me with science. His demonstrated empathy and compassion for others and his overall direct approach. AHA Executive Director Roy Speckhart told Religion News Service in an interview. Richard Dawkins, yeah, they took away Richard Dawkins' Humanist of the Year award from like 1990 because of something he said last year, and they whatever. And he's like, oh, like I give a shit. Anyway. Granted, it is the American Humanist Association, which advocates progressive values and equality for humanists, atheists, and free thinkers, which I don't care. I advocates equality for humanists and atheists and free thinkers is not a bad thing. I don't care, but the progressive values part, I have issues. Anyway, perhaps a bureaucrat who's essentially a high priest of the big state would be its ideal humanist. Fair enough. However, what about the rest of humanity? Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan noticed something that I have also observed recently. Fauci has essentially gone missing from the media. Now, for a year and a half, you couldn't go a day without seeing Dr. Fauci on the news, on the front page of the paper, Jordan told Newsmax. Time magazine made him person of the world, person of the millennium, whatever it was. He was everywhere. Time magazine did not name person of the world, person of the millennium, or person of the year in 2020. He was named along with the frontline healthcare workers and as one of the guardians of the year. But now, when suddenly we understand that he was on notice as early as January 31st at 10:32 p.m. when he got an email from one of the neurologists who gets our tax dollars, Dr. Anderson. He got an email for him saying, look, this virus looks engineered. It's not consistent with evolutionary theory. Dr. Fauci was on notice about this thing coming from a lab and being engineered. And what did he do? He tried to cover his tracks and hide that information from the American people for over a year. Jordan added, if I'm wrong, why wouldn't Dr. Fauci come and answer our questions? Because he's afraid of something. Yeah, Jim, I think you got that right. Anyway, yeah, he has kind of gone missing, though. I haven't seen much of him. Yeah, because he doesn't want to see this face again. He does not want to see any more of Rand Paul's. Is there any more? How long is this? No, we're not watching 6 minutes of Rand Paul. But anyway, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Humanist of the Year. All right, let's let's go move on to something Jim Clyburn said. You know who Jim Clyburn is, right? This is a different Jim, not Jim. Not Jim Jordan, but this is James Clyburn, the congressman from South Carolina. And I'm going to take it with a grain of salt because this is a Breitbart article. By the way, hit the like button if you haven't done so already, and share this stream, and throw a comment in the comment section if you're watching on replay. Jim Clyburn says that he's always supported voter ID despite likening the laws to Jim Crow. What the actual bloody hell is he talking about? When did he support voter ID? Now, listen to this, though, because this is kind of funny. You gotta parse this statement a little bit. Democratic whip James Clyburn. Now, I am offended. I am completely and utterly offended that they use the term whip right next to the name of a black man. I just do not want to hear anything about whips and black men because that is racist. That's
we must.
That's racist!
On Sunday claimed that he always supported voter ID despite likening such election integrity measures to the era of Jim Crow. Now, which is it? I'm curious. During an appearance on CNN State of the Union Sunday discussing Senator Joe Manchin's compromise proposal on the radical left's For the People's Act, the 80-year-old lawmaker claimed to have always supported voter ID. Now, just curious. He said, when I first registered to vote when I was 21, as a 21-year-old back then, 18-year-olds could not vote. I got a voter registration card, and I always present that voter registration card to vote. That's voter ID. Oh, yeah, you used to have I guess you had to show your card back then. We are always for voter ID. We are never for okay, here's the line though. Here's the line. Listen to this line because I'm just gonna tell you this is one of those lines. We are always for voter ID. We are always for voter ID. We are never for disproportionate voter ID. Oh my God, what the hell is that? When you tell me that you got to have a photo ID and a photo for a student or activity card is not good, but for a hunting license it is good, that's where the rub is. Maybe because to get a hunting license it's a state ID, and a student ID is just something a university puts together. But here's the funny thing about student IDs at a university, because I was at a university once, and you know who makes student IDs at the universities? Other students. And so back in the day when the drinking age in good old Iowa was 19 years old and I was only 18. You know what the students at my university used to do? The people who made student IDs, because the student IDs didn't have your birth date on it. But some students who made the student IDs at my university figured out how to put your date of birth on a student ID, and then you could use that to go to the bars and buy alcohol at stores, because the stores, they don't know any better. It's a student ID with your birth date on it. It's not a state government run ID. But anyway, that maybe explains that. Anyway, Clyburn's past remarks indicate otherwise. In 2012, for example, Clyburn blasted South Carolina's voter ID laws as reminiscent of post-Reconstruction Jim Crow laws. As the UPI reported at the time, he used a similar comparison recently, calling Georgia's recently enacted election safeguards as the new Jim Crow.
You're fucking a white male!
Whoops. Emphasis added, he said, I would say to anybody, just look at history and it's there. What's on anybody's mind when you say, okay, we're going to deny voting places, we will get rid of drop boxes, we know we will create some long lines. So now let's make it a crime if you brought a bottle of water standing in those long lines. It's not what they intend, is what the result is. So they can say anything they want to say about it. Just look through it and look throughout history, and you will know that what is taking place today is a new Jim Crow. It's that simple. Notably, Georgia's voting law actually expanded ballot access, a point generally ignored by left-wing critics. Anyway, he also did it in 2020, characterizing voter ID laws as a form of voter suppression. He's got a long history of telling that. Stop lying, Jim. Stop lying. Oh, Cori Bush, another congressperson. Well, remember she was talking about how the 4th of July is not for black people. It's not only for white people. Well, she's doubled down on her July 4th bashing, saying, end the healthcare, housing, and education apartheid. Representative Cori Bush doubled down on Sunday after deeming Independence Day a celebration of freedom for white people only, claiming black people still aren't free, while calling an end to police violence and the healthcare, housing, and education apartheid. Bush made waves July 4th after claiming the freedom celebrated on Independence Day only applies to white people. Okay, we saw that. We already saw her stupid tweet. Anyway. Okay, so now she's saying, let's see, we know what, okay, this land is stolen land, and the other land is still people aren't free. We know what our own freedom looks like and the slavery permitted under the 13th Amendment. What she's talking about is the 13th Amendment allows incarcerated people to be made to do labor. She's obviously watching, what's her name? DeMornay's AV DeMornay or whatever her name is, 13th, which has some interesting. It's an interesting movie, but you got to take it with a very, very big grain of salt because there's a lot of things there that are just inaccurate. End the war on drugs, sure. End police violence. Well, you're never going to end police violence because sometimes police violence is a reaction to violence towards them or towards other people. But I kind of get what you're saying, but it's really not the biggest problem right now. And healthcare and housing and education apartheid. That's the one I don't get. Do we want? Because some people want racially segregated schools, and some people are like, no. The idea that schools are there's an apartheid of schools, like that there's no opportunity to learn. I'm like, I've used this test. If you go to a school and there's at least 1 or 2 kids who do good in school and actually go to college and actually maybe is in fact a lot of end up in Ivy League schools or whatever. If you got kids that go to college and it's not the schools that's the problem, it might be the kids. It might be the kids and it might be the parents who are the problem. Just saying. Anyway, our communities wouldn't have needed to spark a national movement to save black lives if America weren't racist as fuck. Well, woman, you're a congressperson. What are you doing right now? I don't know. She has continued to sound the alarm in Congress, describing the filibuster as a tool used to uphold and protect white supremacy. No, it's to slow down bad ideas. And because you don't want just things that if everything were just 50% democracy, again, democracy is 2 wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. So I don't pure democracy is just the downfall of your nation, because what happens is majority of people figure out that they can just vote to give themselves somebody else's stuff. And that's just not it. So anyway, but her agenda, death penalty, private prisons, ICE, filibusters, all these uphold and protect white supremacy and need to be abolished. No, there's white people on death row. Remember that. Oh my God, private prisons. I'm sorry, the private prison canard annoys me too. I consider it like when Marriott Management Services goes and runs the cafeteria at Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Is that like having private cafeterias? The private cafeteria pipeline? I don't know. I don't care about private prisons. Some people make a big deal about that. They're only 7% of all the prisons in the United States are privately run, and some of them run more efficiently. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway. So if you want to see her, she's Bush is not the only left-wing politician to criticize America on Independence Day. Oh yeah, Maxine Waters, we saw that. All right, we don't need to go with that again. Let's keep going. Let's go to but this article is kind of indicative of what we saw on Independence Day from the Daily Caller. Hate for America has never been higher with some of the most powerful people. Legacy media and elected officials displayed their hatreds Sunday for America on the 4th of July. A slew of articles slamming the 4th of July and various aspects of American culture and heritage were published during the holiday and the days leading up to it. Washington Post published an opinion article claiming the Statue of Liberty has never quite measured up. Art and architecture critic Philip Kennicott argued that the statue is ambiguous and ambivalent as a symbol of hypocrisy or unfulfilled promises. He has said that the statue faces outward as a welcome sign to European immigrants, but argued that these immigrants were seen as superior to Black Americans. That's to someone looking for a problem where there is none. In their annual reading of the Declaration of Independence, NPR declared that the document reads differently following the nationwide protest during the summer of 2020. The outlet wrote the Declaration of Independence is a document deep with flaws and deeply ingrained hypocrisies. The New York Times wrote a piece about how the American flag is now divisive for some people, given that supporters of former Donald Trump waved it fervently. The article described the flag as something that was once a unifying symbol. Lady Boomer's over there laughing because she just heard that one. The article described the flag as something that was once a unifying symbol but is now alienating to some. Some people need to get over themselves. This is from the article. Today, flying the American flag from the back of a pickup or over a lawn is increasingly seen as a clue, albeit an imperfect one, to a person's political affiliation in a deeply divided nation, the Times says. Well, you know what? Then encourage your like-minded idiots to start flying some flags and let's all be a nation together. How about that? How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Are you ambivalent about celebrating July 4th? USA Today's headline read, "You are not alone." The article quoted Fordham University critical race theory law professor Tanya Hernandez, who said that minorities are hesitant to participate in 4th of July festivities. That deserves an extra doubt. I'm sorry. The barbecues in the hood were all smoking some ribs and there might have been some fried chicken at a picnic. I'm telling you, they're trying to make this divisive. They're trying so it's almost like they want it to be divisive. It's really annoying. Who else? Oh, and this is Independence Day doesn't ring true for all Americans who have felt unwelcome in the U.S. or jaded by its politics. And it quoted the CEO of Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Treatment Center's Light on Anxiety, Deborah Kissin, who suggested making room for social justice. The article also encouraged people who were apathetic about the 4th of July to write down your feelings. Moreover, National Geographic insinuated that fireworks celebrations are racist. Science! She blinded me with science. Found that vulnerable people and communities of color are disproportionately exposed to air pollution from fireworks celebration, the outlet said. Well, here's how that is true, okay? Here's how that is. I can't do it. Oh, my God. And then we have Maxine Waters and Cori Bush. Oh my gosh, I'm going to open that article from National Geographic. The hidden toll of July 4th fireworks. Using crowdsourced data from home air quality monitors, scientists found that vulnerable people and communities of color are disproportionately exposed to air pollution from fireworks celebration. Oh my God. It's no secret that fireworks can cause serious air pollution in the United States as well as other countries where holiday displays are common. But hang on a second. Aren't firework displays usually a singular event over a short period of time, even though they might do it once or twice a year? So the idea that they cause serious air pollution is temporary, right? Doesn't it dissipate over the rest of the year? That right there is odd that they're. And it says, but not everyone is equally at risk for the noxious particles that suffuse the sky during pyrotechnic light shows. In California, for example, vulnerable populations are more exposed to fireworks pollutions on the 4th of July. That's according to a study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health on air pollution exposure across the state due to Independence Day fireworks. At its peak, the smoke from these events can be comparable to that from wildfires, the study found. Well, in California, since everyone was blowing off fireworks on their own because the state wouldn't do any of their own fucking shows, maybe it's because that means there's fireworks everywhere, and maybe the more likely people to do illegal fireworks probably live in places where they do more illegal shit anyway, so maybe that's why it's disproportionate in those areas. Or something like that. Hello, Jesse Leon. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. Good Lord. You know what? I can't do it. What is? Oh, you have to subscribe. Well, F that. Then see if we can do one of these. Archive in paste and because I'll leave this article up. Yes, it was archived 15 hours ago. So there you go. I'm going to leave that article in there, the archive version, and you can read it for yourself. But I am incredulous. Moving on. Kamala Harris is a real bumbling Veep. Okay, so. Hang on a second here. By the way, I'm just going to do a personal commercial here. Oh, we got 30 people in the channel. It's 29 likes. That's a good ratio. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Also share the stream if you haven't done so. And throw a couple bucks in the tip jar if you like what we do every once in a while. I appreciate that because it's just me. I'm a one-man show. Even though Johnny over there plays the intro. Johnny's a fake person. And there you go. All right, let's get back to where we were. Where was I? I moved. Oh, shoot. Was I here? Oh, bumbling Kamala Harris. This is an editorial in the New York Post, so of course they're not going to be fond of Vice President Harris. And I'm not going to, but her favorability among registered voters is 7 points underwater in the latest Economist YouGov poll. Biden's approval, by contrast, split evenly at 48% and 40 approve and disapprove, but her unfavorable ratings are much higher. And you can read the article on your own, but it's kind of funny. It's comparing her to the television show Veep, where she where that vice president's kind of a goofball. Alan West is going to run for governor of Texas to challenge Greg Abbott. I guess that's interesting. I don't know. Is Abbott a bad governor? Why is he doing that? But he was the Texas GOP party chair, announced that he will, on Sunday, that he will run for governor, directly challenging incumbent governor Republican Greg Abbott. West made the announcement during a 4th of July appearance at Sojourn Church in Carlton, in the Dallas area. I've not been elected in political office for about a decade, but I can no longer sit on the sidelines and see what happens to the United States of America, where it's said in a campaign video. I couldn't think of a better place or a better day to make this announcement. I'm not sure why you would run to oust Governor Abbott. Alan West is certainly a firebrand, and I when he was in Congress, I liked the guy, and I don't know how much he did for the Texas GOP, though. I don't know if he helped or hurt the Texas GOP. Anyway, now let's keep going, though. Texas sheriffs sue Biden over ICE restrictions and plummeting deportations. A group of Texas sheriffs sued the Biden administration last week for restricting the authority of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to take and deport illegal immigrants. Sheriffs from the border counties of Kinney, Edwards, McMullen, and Hudspeth in Texas, along with the Association of ICE Officers, accused the Biden administration of violating federal immigration law with its restrictions on ICE operations. As part of President Joe Biden's pledge to take more humane approach to immigration enforcement compared to the harsh policies of former President Donald Trump, the Biden administration issued a memo February 18th directing ICE to focus on deporting immigrants who are national security or terrorist threats, gang members, those who have been convicted of certain aggravated felonies, and any that entered the country after November 1st. Courthouse News reports ICE officers who want to take into custody jailed immigrants falling outside of those categories must first obtain approval from their bosses. The lawsuit states the Biden administration's action has blocked ICE agents from taking into custody illegal immigrants accused of crimes such as human trafficking and drug smuggling. And then since the issues the February 18th memorandum, ICE officers have been unable to take custody of or issue detainer requests for dangerous criminal aliens whose detention is mandated by the Immigration and Nationality Act. Specifically, the detention is required for aliens who have committed or been convicted of numerous crimes other than aggravated felonies, such as crimes of moral turpitude, crimes involving controlled substance, human trafficking, money laundering, and certain firearm offenses, the lawsuit states. So let's hope that they're successful in that endeavor, because you need to be getting rid of the bad peoples. I'm not going to leave this one on, but this is an article in the Federalist that you might want to check out. Opening America's borders is not compassionate. It's inhumane, as we're finding out. But it's a good article, but I'm not going to get in it because we're running out of time here. Also, Zuckerberg ruined our lives. Now he's ruined the 4th of July with this weird video of him. Can you play this or not? Here, just there you go. There's patriotic Mark Zuckerberg. You know what? It is even him on this, what is that? It's like a powered surfboard, and he looks like Data even when he does that, doesn't he? Doesn't he look kind of like a robot? It is just so weird. He's a weird dude. Pretty cool thing. I would love to have one of those. That'd be fun to go out around the lakes around Minnesota on. That'd be a hoot. But yeah. It makes you feel patriotic as hell, doesn't it? All right. Let's see. Same energy. America. Maybe the scariest, most dystopian image of 2021 to date. I've accepted that a handful of rich psychopaths are going to kill us all, but why do they have to look like such fucking dorks? Can't they at least look cool with lab coats or body armor or something? Yeah, Zuckerberg, that's amazing. It did look like a deep fake, didn't it? Hydrofoil board. Yeah, I need to get me one of those. That looks fun. I'm a little old for that shit, but I could try it anyway. All right. I don't know if you saw this video of soldiers marching in cadence with masks, but it drew some criticism. Go watch. Triologic did a video on this, but here's the picture in all its glory.
Your mama was home when you left. Right. Your daddy was home when you left. Right. Your brother was home when you left. Right. Your sister was home when you left. Right. Your cat was home when you left. Right. Your dog was home when you left. Right. Your mama, your brother, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cat, dog was home when you left. Right. And that's the reason you left. Right. I left my home. I left my home. To join the army. To join the army. I left my home.
All right, enough of that. Anyway, some of the reasons it drew criticism: the sight of soldiers in PT uniforms marching in cadence while wearing masks prompted confusion and mocking. Kamala's Tim Young tweeted, "Aren't they all vaccinated? Why are they wearing masks outside?" Good question. Retired Army Colonel Kurt Schlichter tweeted a cadence of his own, calling Army a disaster and woke. I don't know, but I've been told the Army's disaster since it's woke. Just the video compilation features 4 clips. 2 of the clips, soldiers are wearing their physical training uniforms with masks on. The clip is a compilation tweeted Thursday, are not dated, but there's no context provided in the tweet, but they appear to be from a cadence competition held at Fort Sill last year in August. I don't know if that was a cadence competition. I've been in a cadence competition when I was in Marine Corps PCS, and PLC, I'm sorry, platoon leaders, platoon corps leaders, PLC, platoon leaders course. And in fact, my platoon actually won the cadence contest, but that's not that can't be a cadence contest because they're sloppy as hell. And if it is, then that's just the Army versus the Marines, I'll tell you. All right, keep going on. Teacher union with 2.3 million members vows to support critical race theory education across the country. Again, this tells me some of these teachers union officials don't know what critical race theory is. But the National Education Association, the nation's largest teachers union, has approved a plan to implement critical race theory in 14,000 school districts across all 50 states. There's a little problem here, though. Ha! Let me just tell you the problem. Teachers unions are not the ones in charge of curriculum in public schools. The local school boards are. So this will be an interesting little fight. A document obtained by Manhattan Institute fellow Chris Rufo shows that the union approved a plan to spend more than $127,000 to oppose attempts to ban critical race theory and or the 1619 Project, a historical mess by Anna Nicole, or what's her name? Hannah Jones, whatever. Wow, this is insane. The teachers union are going to try to tell the school boards what they are going to teach. I don't think that's how it works. They also include a task force to explore the role of law enforcement in education, including collaboration with groups that support abolishing police presence in schools. The plan, according to the document, will result in an increasing implementation of culturally responsive education, critical race theory, and ethnic, Native people, Asian, Black, Latino. Oh my God, EOAX. Did you see this? I don't know if you can't see it because I don't have it on the screen. Right here, Latino/A/X, Middle Eastern, North African, Pacific Islander Studies curriculum in pre-K through 12 and higher education. Hey, I got an idea, teachers unions. How about if we can make sure kids can read when they leave the schools? That would be a great start. Oh my gosh, they're insufferable. Manhattan Institute's offering, but then on the other hand, the Manhattan Institute is offering a toolkit for parents to fight back against woke schools. You can read this one. I'm not going to get into it, but here's the thing. The NAA is vowing to accelerate programs and ideas like this. There are reasons we believe the AFT will go down a similar road. Together, they represent 4.7 million active members in thousands of school districts nationwide. Parents opposed to the ideas the teachers union seem determined to incorporate may need to consider the possibility of that eradicating the critical theories from the K through 12 classroom is not possible. School education pump out these ideas with nearly every diploma and it exists in districts not represented by teachers unions. So they decided to this think tank has a piece out that explains a lot. An appropriate name for this phenomenon has proved elusive. Wokeness, the successor ideology, or neo-racism have all been floated. In context of schooling, some critics allude to critical race theory, a school of thought in law schools that has been adapted into the educational domain. But because CRT is both over-inclusive, it includes concept not used in schools, and under-inclusive, not all the ideas emergent in schools come from CRT, it's not the most apt name for what's going on. Rather, what we are interested in here might be termed critical pedagogy. Critical pedagogy names without exhaustively defining the host of concept terms, practices, and theories that have lately taken hold in many public and private schools. This term alludes to a connection to CRT. It might be thought of as critical race theory as applied to schooling, but also to critical studies or critical theory, a broader set of contemporary philosophical ideas that have been particularly influential in certain circles to the modern left. So what they've come up with is they kind of come up with a guide for parents on how to fight some of this stuff. Interesting article. You can check that out. Let's finish up real quick while we're here. Another article, another place where in a school district, parents are not happy. There was an anti-white video at a pricey private school that set off a firestorm. And I have both stories open here for the New York Post original story, where this New York Spence School showed a video that tarred and feathered a white woman, according to an ex-trustee, and it set off a storm. The Hispanic, here's how, just a synopsis. Hispanic tech exec Gabriela Barron fired off a scorched earth letter to the prestigious Upper East Side institution last week, stating that the video shown to her 8th grade daughter and classmates on graduation day openly derides and humiliates and ridicules white women. They sat there in their graduation dresses while the white mothers of the white students, many of whom volunteer, donate, call, email, and do whatever the school asks of them, were tarred and feathered in a video their teachers showed them, while their white female teachers were mocked. Barron raged in the missive, a copy of which was obtained by the Post. Mocked is an understatement. The comedian in the video shown to the class called white women annoying. Well, I better not go there. Lady Bloomer might hit me. Asked white feminist, what percentage of white women do you hate? Adding that there is a right answer. She invited 4 white women named Karen on the stage, making sure they and their audience knew that a Karen is an obnoxious, angry, and entitled, often racist white woman. You can read Brown's entire letter here. It's where the Daily Mail has screenshots. Had the school truly apologized, the matter might have ended there. However, the head of the school, Bodie Brizendine, made matters worse by sending a non-apology apology. In the first paragraph, Brizendine updated the Spence community about the fact that a parent sent a letter to the board and other parents to voice her strong objection to a video shown to 15 students in her daughter's grade 8 history class on the last day of school. So far, so good. It was the second paragraph, which had a non-apology apology and an attempt to downplay a racist video as satire that has kept the matter in the spotlights. Quote, this video is not part of the Spence curriculum. Our teacher and the school acknowledged that showing a satirical video that made fun of white women as a significant mistake. We take this seriously. It is never acceptable to ridicule anyone at any time, and this is contrary to everything we know about our mission. We fully trust the professionalism of our dedicated faculty, and we will be strengthening faculty protocols. We are sorry for any harm this has caused to anyone in our community. The parents got mad, and they're really up in their behinds now about this school. And the original article for the New York Post from June is in here. I'll keep that going. I'm going to skip this. Oh, the pipeline. You know that pipeline, Joe, shut down? The Keystone XL pipeline? Well, U.S. taxpayers may end up paying $15 billion with a B to the Canadian company behind the Keystone Pipeline. The company is seeking damages after Democratic President Joe Biden canceled the pipeline to pursue his far-left energy agenda. TC Energy announced last month they were scrapping the project because revoked the permit. They left out a word here. He revoked the permit needed to complete the pipeline. Fox Business noted that a study from the State Department found that the pipeline would have created 26,100 indirect and direct jobs. Well, who needs jobs? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
So they filed a notice of intent to initiate a legacy North America Free Trade Agreement claim under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement to recover economic damages resulting from the revocation of the Keystone pipeline project or permit, the company said in a statement. TC Energy will be seeking to recover more than $15 billion in damages that it has suffered as a result of the U.S. government's breach of its NAFTA USMCA agreement obligations. Interesting. We'll find out about that later. All right, let's keep going. We'll skip that. So there's the last 3 articles. Beware of the economic transformation that John Kerry is promising. John Kerry, Lurch is promising an economic transformation. Oh, is this the great? What is the Great Reset or whatever? Anyway, he's talking about green economy. You can check that out. And finally, there's a little kerfluffle about the U.S. women's national soccer team. I'm going to skip that. That may not be true. Okay, so there was an article that the U.S. women's soccer team turned their backs on this guy playing the national anthem and the flag and whatnot at send-off for the team. So the original article stated, several members of the U.S. women's national team turned away from the flag as a 19-year-old World War II veteran played the national anthem. The incident occurred Monday just before the U.S. women's national team took on Mexico in their final tune-up game before the Tokyo Olympics. This is Richard Grinnell said every woman on the Mexican soccer team faced the flag and sang the Mexican national anthem. Several women on the U.S. soccer team turned away from the flag while a 19-year-old veteran played the anthem on a harmonica. Why didn't the U.S. women's team why didn't they show the women turning away? Now, you might hear this story, people will be talking about it, but U.S. Soccer Federation made this statement, and there's an update. An account representing the U.S. soccer team denies that the video shows any players disrespecting World War II veteran Pete Dupre and posted a video of players, including Megan Rapinoe, greeting him and signing a ball. Contrary to the widespread interpretation of the video, the spokesman claims these players were looking at a different flag elsewhere in the stadium. To be clear, no one turned their back on the World War II veteran Pete Dupre during tonight's anthem. Some players were simply looking at the flag on a pole in one end of the stadium. The players all loved Pete, thanked him individually after the game, and signed the ball for him. So it could be they were looking at a different flag. A lot of people were tweeting about this, but I might give him the benefit of the doubt on that. And then finally, George Foreman is not ashamed to love America. He said, don't leave it, love it. You can read that one on your own, but I'm out of time here. People, thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And thanks for those who have stuck around and until the end here. I know sometimes it gets tedious, but there's always more news and more things to talk about, and I just like to ramble. Anyway, do me a favor. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button. Also, if you haven't done so already, share the stream somewhere. I'm going to start doing some cuts today. I haven't had time to make the videos I wanted to make, but I can make cuts of small portions of it because some of you missed the beginning anyway, and you might be able to see different things I've done. Plus, I'm going to go take some cuts from some of the old streams and place them out as standalone videos just to see if I can get some more traffic on the channel. So look forward to those. Also, if you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you were here. I appreciate everyone who does that. Some of you do it after the show. Some of you do it while you're watching on the replay, but throw a comment in the comment section. I greatly appreciate that. And just give me a hi. I don't care. Just let me know you're here. And that's it. Also a reminder, just every news story that we looked at today, including the ones I didn't get to, will be in a single link in the description down below on the one tab link right below the initial paragraph. You can find that shortly after the show here, probably before I get done with the outro. So that's it for today, people. Time for me to go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.